Many years ago, in the beautiful community of Umanzo, there lived a man, Nnamdi. Nnamdi was resilient and hardworking. He lived together with his beautiful wife, Uloma, and their sons. Nnamdi has a friend named Chimezie. Chimezie is also married to Nneka, and they have 2 sons. Chimezie and Nnamdi were into the same kind of business, which is selling of bicycle parts. The children of Nnamdi and Chimezie were also of the same age grade, so they were friends. Life was going smoothly for both families, and they maintained close friendship until one day a misfortune happened in the community of Umanzo. Nnamdi came to the market and found everywhere scattered. People were wailing and crying. Tables were shattered. Everything that looked like furniture were dismantled. His heart started to beat so fast as people were staring at him. Chimezie saw him from a distance and walked up to him. He patted him on his shoulder and whispered, "Ndonna, chai, ozoemena." It was at this point that Nnamdi suspected that he was a victim too. It happened that some warriors from the neighboring community had attacked Umanzo, looting many of the shops. Unfortunately, Nnamdi's shop was among of the shops that were looted. This was a great misfortune for Nnamdi and his family because his goods had just arrived the previous day. As if Nnamdi's shop was the major target, they emptied it. Nnamdi was upset, worried, dismayed, and disturbed. He returned home looking like a defeated warrior. Nnamdi could not continue with his business and stayed at home for a couple of months, leaving his wife, Uloma, to cater for the family from her fruit business. Days turned to weeks and weeks turned to months and years. One day, Uloma returned home from the market and went to her husband. She greeted her husband, and her husband responded, "No, it's Bowunyem." She continued, "There is something I want to discuss with you. Go ahead, my dear wife." Uloma then suggested to her husband, Nnamdi, to borrow some money from his friend Chimezie so that he can continue with his bicycle parts business, since almost every other person affected have resumed business and are doing well. Nnamdi thanked his wife for looking out for him. "However, I cannot ask for help from my friend Chimezie. It may ruin our friendship," replied Uloma. Uloma insisted, "You can't be at home, my husband, and do nothing. Remember what they say about an idle mind. You just need to swallow your pride and ask your friend for help." Nnamdi rejected the idea, but his refusal only brought resentment from his wife, Uloma. Uloma started serving him smaller portions of food and paying little attention to the needs in the house. Every time Nnamdi complains about her sudden change, she reminds him of his refusal to get a loan from his friend. After so much persuasion from Uloma, Nnamdi agreed and decided to get a loan from his friend Chimezie. One day after market hours, Nnamdi set out and went to Chimezie's house. When he got there, he clapped and shouted, "Who is in?" Chimezie replied, "Who is there?" He replied, "It is your friend Nnamdi." "Oh, Nnamdi, otegokwa one name." They exchanged pleasantries. Chimezie offered him some kola and asked, "What brings you to my house, my good friend?" Nnamdi replied, "My friend, I know you've been a good friend to me, and I have known you over the years. But you know, since my shop got robbed, I have not been able to do anything. I have been idle. That is why I have come to see you today, to see if you can lend me some money so that I can restock my shop and start my business all over again." He continued, "I have come to you because I know that you are my best friend, and that is why I can always count on you. You have been my supporter, my brother." Chimezie clears is truth. I have heard you, my friend. It is so sad that this misfortune happened to you. How much do you need me to loan you? And when do you intend to pay back? Nnamdi replied, I will be glad if you can loan me up to 500,000 naira. I will pay back in 2 months' time. Chimezie replied, I do not have up to 500,000 naira, but I can loan you 200,000. I hope it goes a long way. He replied, Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate you. Come back tomorrow at sunset and I will give you the money, says Chimezie. Nnamdi thanked him and left home happily. In the community hall, some women were seen shattering and dancing. Nnamdi's wife, Uloma, was seen in a beautiful Igbo two-piece wrapper, white blouse, and Igbo tie with beautiful jewelry. She looked very beautiful. The woman leader shouted, Ndine mama. The women replied, Isokwa. The woman leader continued, Dear women, as you all know, it is time for us to choose our next woman leader, the woman who will carry out the good legacy that I have left. We need to name our next woman leader. We already know that we have 3 women who are qualified for this position. As you all know, Oriakụ Obiageri has contributed positively to this community by donating free food for our meetings. Oriakụ Obianoju has also done well by allowing people fetch water from her house for free on Eke market days. Oriakụ Uloma is also very active member of this community and have served in different positions before now. We will all decide who the new woman leader is in 12 market days. Obuyaka Oburoya, oh yeah. The women chorused. They started singing and dancing until they left. Onyisi nidanyima mbombo. Onyisi nidanyima mbombo. Onye chimereze na madapuyi na ya mbombo. Onye chimereze na madapuyi na ya mbombo. They sang and danced as they left in groups. Uloma left really unsatisfied with the way she was introduced. When she got home, she wore a sad face. Her husband then asked her what the matter was. She explained that she did not like the way she was introduced at the meeting today. Out of the 3 contestants for the woman leader, I am the only one who has the least money. I want money to be able to win this position. Her husband Nnamdi replied, You know our present financial situation right now. I suggest you quit contesting for this position. She screamed, Tufiakwa. You want my enemies to laugh at me? I will never step down. Nnamdi replied, If you insist. Anyway, I'll be going to pay back the money I borrowed from Chimezie, my friend. Oh, nice, that's so. She convinced her husband to give her the money so she could use it for the elections, promising her husband that when she becomes the woman leader, she would get enough money from the community purse to build a bigger shop and more goods than they formerly had. Chimezie visits Nnamdi, asking him of the money he had borrowed as his son needs it to embark on his journey to the city. Nnamdi told him that his business hasn't been going well and that he should give him more time. Chimezie laments, This is the 3rd time you're asking me to give you time. Do you mean that you don't want to pay back my money? Nnamdi replied angrily, Why are you But when she got home, another shocking thing happened. People were gathered in front of their house, shouting, How much did I even owe you? Everyone owes, right? Why should mine be different? Please leave my compound. I will pay you back when I have the money. I don't have it now. Chimezie was so embarrassed. He could not believe that the same person who was sober when he was borrowing the money could change and become so mean and wicked. When he got home, he explained his ordeal to his wife. His wife, Nneka, consoled him and asked him not to bother them anymore. They decided to sell their last plot of land to send their son to the city. A few months later, the election was done. Oriako Obiageri was declared the winner. Uloma became bitter and went home. Relaying the news to her husband, Nnamdi fainted. Apparently, he had given Uloma a lot of money from his business. Nnamdi was resuscitated, but became very sick and could not continue his shop business. Weeks after weeks, the money they have at home got finished. Uloma went to her husband's shop. On getting there, she found a very shocking surprise. Her husband's creditor had locked up his shop. She screamed, "Hey, whoa!" and started crying. She went to Chimeze's house to beg him for some money to buy medications and food. But Chimeze and Nneka did not listen to her because they were still upset with her husband. She wept as she returned home to her sick husband. She wondered what could be going on. Not quite long I left the house. Apparently, her husband coughed 3 times and gave up the ghost. Uloma cried and cried. She regretted not allowing her husband pay the debts they owe. The Bible says in Exodus chapter 22 verse 14, if anything is borrowed, it should be paid back. If what is borrowed is lost or injured, full restitution must be made. In the same vein, Psalm 37 verse 21, the Bible says that the wicked borrows but does not pay back, but the righteous is generous and gives. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, share and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more interesting stories like this.